Good afternoon, everyone. It's 5 to 12. It's our preamble time before we launch into our, I'd say, world famous movement snack. I'm on my new camera phone today, so hopefully you haven't got the torrential rain that was happening in the background before. I must say it's a bit disconcerting looking at myself and talking here because the lip sync's slightly out. Glad I'm on the right group though. I must be. Jane's in. Hello, Jane. Hopefully the messages are working as well. I think Beck's had a little bit of a scare this morning thinking that her messages weren't working. So let's say hello to you lot who are catching up today. Good day to you all. Doesn't matter what time it is, of course. It's the Crowbard Innerbull 12 noon for you. And today we have got, let me get my plan list out. We've got some toe raises. It could be some ankle mobilizers though, depending on what the movement in your ankle is already. We've got some flamingo type moves as well, so seated and standing options. And then we've got some multi-directional and multi-position, depending on where you want to be, seated, leaning against something or freestanding. Taps, what kind of functional taps, I guess they are. I weren't sure what to call them, to be honest, so maybe you lot could help me name this particular move. Right, let's have a little look at who's just come in. Mrs. P's just back from an icy cold walk. I know it was so cold the other day, it made my face sting. Ken Green's in, good day. George Anderson's in, hello. Maddie's in, sunny and cold, still have snow. Yeah, same here. And actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be a bit of a bad mum today. The kids, I'm going to just bust them out of homeschooling and we're going sledging. The end. Call up the schools if you like. I don't care. We're going sledging. It's sunny but cold in Cruden Bay. Penzance is in, talking about the other end of the country. Hello, Christine Rowland. Have I missed anybody? Let's have a scroll. Gloria's in. Hello, Gloria. You seem to be finding us much swifter now, much faster. Diane Edwards is in. Hello, good afternoon to you. I'm on my new phone, so hopefully everything's okay for you. Just let me know. Oh, Sandra, what are you up to? In the kitchen, got some chicken casserole in the slow cooker. I love a slow cooker. You can just lob it all in, can't you? And then all of a sudden it's made. Genius. And baby, it's cold outside. Yes. It was like -3 yesterday here in Leicestershire. You know, when it gets up to 1 or 0, it's positively warmer, isn't it? Here comes Greenwich. So Wendy's in from Greenwich. Linda's in from Manchester. Good afternoon to all of you lot. Hopefully you're feeling good and well. You've had a decent morning. Maybe even crowbarred in a couple of bits and pieces here and there. We've got to keep that movement thingy on the radar, haven't we? And it's all these regular practices of stuff that you crowbar in here, there and everywhere that actually start to combine, build together and really start to make a bit of a difference to how you do stuff. It's as simple as that. Movement is life, as well as coffee, of course. Let's check the time. 59. Right, Sheila Day's in. Good day to you. Good day to Sheila Day. Christine Lewis in and Carol Kent. Hello to both of you. Pat Haynes, Jill White's in. Eileen Williams. Are you new, Eileen? I don't recognise your name. The noonday movement snack, just to give you a bit of a what it all is about. It's, of course, movement, different types of movement each and every day on our noontime movement snacks. And this is probably the most varied out of the lot of them, isn't it? So we're going to practice a bit of strengthening, a bit of balancing and some functional movements today. Just having a taster, are you, Eileen, of the menu of the lunchtime movement snack? Well, us chefs generally try and whip it up and make it a bit more interesting each day. We are, of course, always very tasteful. And oh, we've got a practice, haven't we, of our hand jive, hand brain movement for our Valentine's Day spectacular. Right, George, I didn't. I'm going to have a look though, because I'm still sussing this new phone out and downloading bits and pieces. So thank you. I'll have a look at that message. Right, I think it's time. Let me have a look. Now, it's 12:01. I'm having to look down because I've got my new phone and I've not got my old phone, you see. So here we go with 3, 2, 1. Throwing it right at you. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon. Oh, that was a bit bad, wasn't it? Let's try that again. Backtrack. 3, 2, 1. That's better. Good afternoon and welcome. Dave normally does that, isn't it? You're with me, Kelsey Leverton. I'm from Later Life Training, broadcasting from a snowy but bright Leicestershire countryside, an ickle village called Fleckney. We are here to do our noontime movement snack, where we add extra minutes to our already probably quite busy day, and this does not replace or remove anything from your day. It complements it. So here we are on the date. George, put the date up for me and I'll tell it to everyone in a bit. 11th, Thursday the 11th of February. We start with a bit of circulation boosting. Now you may be in a seated position. So if you are, you might find that you're a bit further back in your chair. Try and take a lift and lengthen up through your trunk, and if you can, just hotch yourself or hip walk yourself a little bit further forwards in your chair, either using the arms on the chair or just holding on lightly to the sides. Now, in standing as well, have your feet at hip distance apart, feet flat, and everybody just take a moment to lift, lengthen, grow that extra couple of inches taller. I think I've grown a couple of extra inches in this direction, so I'm going to try and lengthen out in this direction to counteract all of that. We start with some ankle pumps or some low-level leg marches. Keep the ball of the foot down and get moving on through those ankles, those feet, and your tootsie joints. If you're in standing, and by the way, you can come up into standing or go back down into seated at any given point, depending on how you feel with the different movements here. You might want to have some support available in standing, so in front of you. Anything that's to the side of you as well could be useful to have a couple of options available to you. Oh look, my feet have started leg marching. So this is just really picking up the knees a bit more, clearing the feet, and just be mindful and feel how you're landing and lifting your feet. Power up through the heel, lift through the knee, and try and make sure that your toes are last to leave the floor, but first to roll down. So it's toes, ball, heel on the way down. Keep going with that. If you're in seated, your hips might get a bit squished if you're doing your leg marches. So you can take it back down to the foot pedals, or you can just do something else, a side tap. And you can join in with this one in standing if you like as well. You might want to add just a loose arm swing into it if you like. Or you could be sitting tall, swinging the arms like so. And when you're not moving your legs in that side tap, or if you're moving your legs in the leg march, you might have a slightly different paced arm movement coming in there. So like that, you might have a tap. You might hold on to your support in any which direction. If you want to, you can have arms and legs marching together, and your pace is the right pace. Shouldn't be huffing and puffing as we get towards the end. And PS, the end of this is coming in about, I'd say, 20 seconds. But you know what we're like for counting stuff. We're not very good. So, feeling warmer? Feeling a bit looser in the joints? Got a little bit of a ready break glow flushing around your body? We're about there. Take a pause. Right, so we're going to, I'm going to offer you a bit of an ankle mobility move first, because this can really loosen up that joint a little bit more so that you're able to be a bit more successful perhaps with the toe lifts, which can be a bit tricky. I'm just going to move my comments to the side and make sure that you can see, I can see my feet so you can see my feet. If you're in standing, you can hold on to the side, something that's firm and stable, and just do a repeat of those ankle mobility moves that we do in the morning routine, and then have a change over onto the other side. So this is just preparing the ankles. Let's just move a little bit there. In seated, you could do the same, toe and a heel dig onto the same spot, just sitting up tall or supporting your posture here in the chair. If you want to go a bit further back, you've got the point and the pull back, just to recap on that really important mobility ankle-based move there. So looser ankles will help to be able to be more successful in this particular movement that we're going to do to strengthen the muscle along your shin, and you may well feel this around your ankle and top of the foot area as well. So if you're in seated, you might be a bit more successful anyway, because we've not got really the rest of the body on top of our legs here. Just tuck your feet back a tiny way, not too far. Sit up tall and try and pull your toes back. Now, if that's not working there, if that's a bit tricky, then hotch them forwards a little bit and then try and lift up the toes. Hold it there for 3, 4 or 5 counts before slowly lowering back down. So you could see the difference there between the range of motion that I could get here, it's not very much there, is it, versus just a little bit further in front. So that may make the whole load of difference for you. In standing, you could choose to have something behind you just to rest your hips onto. Bend into the knees. You might want to bring your toes a bit further forwards like we did in seated, and then have a go at lifting, holding for a few seconds and lowering back down. Now, knees generally don't like to be locked out, so keep them slightly bent. And in standing, here we have knees bend, bottom tucked under. I'm almost off the screen, aren't I? I'm going to hold on here. Knees bent, bottom tucked under, gliding the weight back into the heels, lifting up the toes. Try not to lock out the legs, keep those loose, and then lower back down again. Aim for 2, 3, 4, 5 second hold there in whatever option you've taken. Try not to stick out your bum in standing. Keep the weight directly down through your heels and lower back down again. Now, if you have got your bottom propped against something, you won't be able to do anything with your legs directly under you. So you might need to just adjust your position like we did in seated to be able to give the ankles a bit of a toe lift in that position. So these are the muscles down at your shin that you feel if you've been out for a long walk or you've walked really fast, you've been picking up your toes. That's the muscle that should be felt there, and maybe around the tops of your feet and ankles too. And that's a great movement just to bring in a bit of strength around our ability to toe lift. We toe lift when we're stepping, when we're walking, if we're moving over uneven surfaces. If we've got a better heel strike and a toe lift, then we're less likely to catch our feet or lose our balance as we travel across said surface. Okay, I'll let you finish off 1 or 2 there, and I'm offering you now a seated option of what I've called the flamingo. Do you know what? I'm going to turn my chair this away. So you might want to have a few goes of this in seated before you progress to standing. If you normally or have been starting to do more stuff in standing. So let's just start off with just a few low level arm swings like so. So you can do a few of these, and then on the next one, try and reach further forward. You can support your top half there if you like, and then come back to a few low level arm swings, just fluid movement through the shoulders. And then the next time, reaching forwards. So you're sitting up out of your hip bones, keeping your bum planted on the floor and your feet, of course, planted on the floor. If you feel like that's not good for you in a lengthened leaning position without support, then just use that hand that's not reaching to give the upper body a bit of support. So 1, 2, 3 and a reach. Maybe 1, 2, 3 and a reach. Something like that, people. So lifting, lengthening up and out of your hip bones and your sitting position. Have a few goes at that. And in standing, we're going to have a go at a flamingo swing. So this will require for us to be shifting our weight and trying to hold and stabilise our weight over the one leg. So that leg should be the nearest one to your chosen support. And you can start just by tapping the toe to the front and tapping the toe to the back. Just if you need that little touch down, if you're not quite ready to take it all onto a full one leg stand, just do some toe taps, slightly in front, slightly behind. Give that underneath leg a little bit of a rest if you need to, because it will start to work statically and it can start to bring a bit of an ache there as well. And if you're ready, standing knee slightly bent, and here's what your flamingo swing could look like now, or could look like if you're progressing towards it. You can probably hear a little scrape of my foot as it comes back through, and my underneath hip needs a little bit of a rest as well, so just a bit of foot pedaling can serve you well on this one. And then of course a change of sides. Tall posture, think about which leg is going to be your standing leg. You can start with the toes, remember? And the aim here is for this to be a little bit of a challenge for your balance. You can go into the swing if you like, not too fast. Just keep it that slow but steady movement. And if you do feel rock steady with what you're holding on to, you might want to just reduce your support just to maybe fingertips, one finger, or a hand that hovers over your support and touches down only when you need to. And that gets our leg lifting a little bit more. We need this movement in the next movement that we're going to be doing. I think I've done too many on that side and not enough on this one. I'll even myself out later. Right, take a pause there. You might want to add some foot pedals in, especially for those hips, as they might have started to get a bit tired and a little bit of a burning sensation building up in them. The same with shoulders, just maybe circle the shoulders. If you've been doing anything repetitive, then we can start to get a bit of tiredness around there. That's normal. Right, and the last movement I've got involves multi-directionally placing our feet and legs into different positions. In seated, if you normally keep your feet flat on the floor for the movements that we do, you can of course still do that. And here's what your option might look like. Sitting tall, really lengthening and increasing space between your ribs and your hips. So there's a lot of trunk work with the hips fixed into the chair in seated options. And we're going to be reaching down. So going down, maybe into the centre. See how far you can reach forwards with support, if you like, or without support. That will test your trunk strength and your trunk stability a little bit more. You could reach down to the other side of your foot, straight back, and then take it into a sideways reach. As we do the sideways bend, and your aim there is to keep your bum firm into the chair. Have a go with both sides. There's another option. So if you want to, you can have your hips once again against something behind you, and you will need to bring your feet in quite narrow each time. Say if I want to lift my right leg, if my feet are too wide, it's going to be very difficult. But if I bring my feet more directly under me, they are a little bit forwards, then I can be a bit more successful, hold on to the wall or something as well, in lifting the knee. That could even be here first, or a smaller lift. Taking the foot to the side and adding a small lift. Taking the foot slightly in front and adding a small lift, if you like. And then have a go at changing sides. So knee up to the front, or just tapping the toes down onto the ground. Standing option, holding on if you like. Lifting the leg, re-steadying yourself. You could lift the leg to the side. I want us to get into this kind of position with the left leg lift to the side. In this position, you could take it to the back as well. So we're trying to bring our hand towards our foot. And we need these movements, these different kinds of movements, when we're putting on shoes and socks. Forget the backwards movement one there. Unless you feel happy to come into standing, maybe hold on to something in front of you and try. You can see I'm just adjusting my feet in between. See how far you can take your leg up. You might not quite be able to touch, but it doesn't matter. You might not quite be able to touch, but again, it doesn't matter. Have a go at turning out the foot. Now, that's a tricky one, that is. But if we get the knee turned out somewhat, we generally use that movement if we are going to put our socks on. You can practice those movements as well in seated. So foot turning in, knee lift up, foot turning out, and then maybe even a backwards lift as well. Lots of different movements there, all coming from knee and hip, requiring postural control and strength, requiring a bit of balance as well, and some functional type moves that you may use when you're out and about, when you're getting shoes, socks, trousers on, stuff like that. Right. This is your 30-second warning for our, what's it called? For our hand jive. Lovely lot of stuff. Right, I'm just getting my other computer to turn on because my phone's attached to the computer to charge it up, because the phone adapter is different to the USB. So you have to plug it in to a smaller contraption. So it's into my tablet. Look. All right. So this is your practice, rehearsal, run through of our hand jive type movements. So are you ready? So Bex's starts off with a look through the keyhole. So we'll go just a dry run first. Look through the keyhole, draw you in, draw you in, draw you in again. Octopus with the hand. And this is your 5, 6, 7, 8. We go across the chest now, across the chest. Here's looking at you, kid. Across the chest again. Big smile. And a waterfall down with the heart. And clap. End of Bex's. Beginning of mine. We've got 2 lumbricals. Or that could be a single lumbrical on its own. It's up to you if you're working with just one side. 2 lumbricals. We've got a bit of reach and a body twist and pull back. Reach and a body twist and pull back. And we've got our Vogue move now that Bex does in the morning. 1, there's the 2, there's the look, back to the front. Here's your camera click. Frame your face. Look to the other side, end of my routine. Here goes Dave's, thumbs together. So we've got thumb, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then downwards for the Mexican wave, 6, 7, 8. There's the Mexican wave. Now, however you can, do your 3, 2, 1. I cannot do it like Dave does it. So I'm going to have to go 3, 2, 1. Here's your clapperboard, clap, and then we've got under the skin, under the chin, whack-a-day. You remember whack-a-day? And then circle with the hands, push the thumbs down and take it to a heart. End of sequence. Shall we have a go then? Just linking that together. Perhaps more to the time that we would be doing it. I'll talk you through and give you the little hooks to remind you what's coming next. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Look through the keyhole. Keyhole, draw us in. 3, 4. Hand octopus. 5, 6, 7, 8. Cross your heart. X Factor. Looking at you. Up we go and smile. Draw your heart, clap your hands. Here we go, lumbrical, lumbrical. Reach and pull, really reach towards the camera there and draw your elbow back. Under the chin, look, camera, click, and look to the other side. Dave's goes thumb, finger, 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 down, Mexican wave. What's next? What's next? I hope you've got it. Mexican wave. Oh yeah, 3, 2, 1. I've completely fluffed it now. Let's go from Dave's again. Come on, Kelsey, what is it? Camera click. You see, we all naff it up sometimes, don't we? Here's Dave's. 2, 3, 4, 5. Down you go, ready for your Mexican wave. 3, 2, 1. Click. And then we go under the chin and wave. Make a circle, push your thumb down and heart. There we have it. I need to practice that one as well. So I'll leave that little brief practice with you, snack mates. We will get there, won't we? If we throw something at it so many times, it's bound to stick. And it's the same difference with this little hand routine, getting your brain and your body and your coordination all engaged and ready for our Valentine's spectacular. I'm done. Go have some lunch, have a break, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock, or Dave will. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Ta-da.